The implications of Wano Kuni's Waterfall. Hello ladies and gentlemen, I am Burger, and I am here with a One Piece theory/analysis video. This video has very minor spoilers for the manga if you are an anime-only watcher. It does not spoil the plot at all, just a little bit of the design of the island, which I will be covering most of. There will be a warning when spoilers are ahead. Let's start with the idea of fresh water in the middle of the ocean. As the Straw Hats approached Wano, the water became clear, and Sanji implied that it is fresh water via the fish that are swimming in it. The obvious answer is that the fresh water is bubbling up from the ocean and forms into a river. But what else could it be? Also, why is the water forming a river? And why is that river heading directly for Wano? I have a feeling there is some unexplained and fictional force at play here, such as the pyrobrine that creates sky islands, which involves a material that does not exist in real life and has purely fictitious properties. It could be a magnet that draws the fresh water to the waterfall, or perhaps a suction that only sucks the fresh water, or maybe it's sort of pseudoscience-y with the fresh water being lighter than the salt water, so it rises to the top and then falls towards the island. It's fiction, it could be anything. Not only that, but why is the water fresh water? If the water was coming from the ocean, it would be salt water, but the water is fresh, so where on earth is the water coming from? But it really gets interesting when you think about the fact of the waterfall being in the middle of the ocean. In order for there to be a waterfall, there has to be a rise in elevation. This means that Wano is on a watery plateau in the middle of the ocean. A freshwater watery plateau in the middle of the ocean. And in episode 892, you can see that there is a shore and everything, and the water isn't immediately draining off the plateau. It's like there's an island on top of a plateau that is falling fresh water in the middle of the ocean. This means that the water must be bubbling up to the top of the plateau. When I originally read this in the manga, I thought the waterfall was going uphill, but upon watching the most recent anime episodes, it seems that the waterfall is in fact going downhill, like a normal waterfall, and the river meets at its base. This is very interesting because that means the river and the waterfall end at the same location, so there is nowhere for the water to go but underground. Could this water be flowing under the plateau and bubbling up at a specific location? And where is this specific location? The answer could be in the layout of the island. Very minor spoilers for anime-only watchers ahead. I will now be showing a censored map of Wano. There are no genitals of any kind on this map. I removed all the names and locations so as to not spoil this for anime-only watchers. The only spoiler you'll be getting is the fact that there are freshwater rivers between all of the individual islands of Wano. That is it. That is the only spoiler. If we can figure out what direction the water is flowing, we can find the point of origin for the water. However, if the water is flowing in a pattern, for example, like this, then the water would be flowing in a different area completely. But if the water is flowing in a direction like this, then the point of origin is obviously right here. Now, with all the information I have shown you, and with one more piece of information that is once again a very minor spoiler, I will be leaving out the key information, and that is, it is insinuated that there is only one entrance to Wano, and that is the one waterfall. Which means, even though Wano is on a plateau, there's only one waterfall. There must be large rocks blocking the rest of the water from flowing off, which we see a little bit of. So, In this diagram shown here, on the left side we see an arrow pointing to the river. The river is flowing towards the plateau, where it meets the waterfall, which is flowing down. You can see the blue arrows are the direction of the water flowing. The water surely flows underneath the plateau, because there's no other direction for it to go, where it bubbles up and spews upward, as you see the blue arrow pointing upwards, and that causes the plateau to always have water on it, despite it, being a plateau. Now, if you look on the right side, you can see that there is an arrow pointing to no flow, that the water isn't falling off the other sides of the plateau, because it is implied that there's only one waterfall. Or at the very least, only one safe waterfall, although, knowing One Piece powers, it seems unlikely that nobody would be able to get up the other waterfall. And then on the other side, on the very bottom right corner, you see there's an arrow pointing to unknown. What do the other sides of the plateau look like? Just rocks? This seems likely, but we can't know for sure. This diagram is a full summary of my interpretation of the geography of Wano and the implications of a waterfall existing in the middle of the ocean. Wherever the water is coming from, and why ever it's fresh water and not salt, Wano has one of the most interesting geographical features of any island in One Piece. The only island that rivals it in mystery would be Enies Lobby, which is fucking levitating over a giant hole into nothing, and the sun never sets. That is suspicious and unexplained. If you have any thoughts about the Waterfall Wano, please let me know. I welcome all feedback. If you have anything to say at all, I would love to hear it, as this is the only reason I make videos. Do you disagree with me? I would love to hear why. That's going to be for today, everyone. I hope you enjoyed it. I certainly did. Bye!